Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here on the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about money. And I know this is something that's kind of taboo on the internet. Like, even like on YouTube, people just get, mad when people talk about money and stuff like that. And I don't really know why. Like, just people get looked down upon when they talk about money. And I kind of wanted to talk about it today because money's important in my opinion. And everyone needs money. It's not even just in my opinion. You need money to live. No matter what you say, you're gonna need money to live, unless you're like a beggar on the streets. But like 99.9% of us are gonna be using money to live. And I think that's why it's important to talk about it, because most kids, like there's a common thing where it's like, kids will ask their parents how much money they make or how much their car costs or whatever, and they won't tell them. They'll say it's none of your business. But then that kid grows up not knowing how much that stuff is, and it just kind of mismanaged their money. So I think it's important to learn from the previous generation, which is why I don't think money should be this taboo of a thing to talk about. Just like, I think we should be learning from our parents to learn how we can better, manage our money. And I'm no financial expert. I just wanted to talk about this because it's kind of something that people don't really talk about. And because I read a statistic the other day. It was on this article, and it was like 70% of like wealthy people end up losing their wealth by the second generation. Like 70% of people end up losing their wealth. Like, that's crazy. Like, think about it. You have like $1 million and you end up losing that by your kids. Like, that's crazy. That's in the US alone, but it might not be that high, but still it's probably pretty close to that. And that's just crazy to me. Like, you spend all this time working, making all this money and doing all these like financial tactics, and then you just lose it to your kids. Like, that's just crazy to me. And I think that most people are in financial situations mostly just because they don't know how to manage their money, or they don't know how to use it, like, or use it effectively, I guess I should say. Like, I know these guys that I go out to lunch with every single day, and they spend their money every single day when we go out for lunch. On like big things, like $15 for lunch. Like, and I'm just like I can't get behind that. Because you're just wasting all your money away. I know, like, obviously it's important to eat. And like, I bring a lunch from home, but like, maybe you're just spending like $5 a month. You could save that extra $10. Like, just, people just be spending all their money like on clothes and shoes and all this stuff, and it's just like, it's kind of like worthless in a bit, like, because you're gonna outgrow the shoes, you're gonna outgrow the clothes, and you're not gonna really be able to wear them anymore. And like I said, it's up to you what you spend your money on. Obviously, I should not judge anyone based on what they spend their money on. Like, I spend my money. And so I wouldn't want anyone judging me how I spend money, so why should I judge other people on how they spend their money? It doesn't really make much sense. But all I'm saying is, I think that people need to learn how to use their money maybe a little bit more smartly, instead of spending on things that they're not going to use. Like, for example, I use this technique where it's like, if I can't afford it 10 times, then I can't afford it and I won't buy it. And that's how I live my life. I don't want to spend anything on much huge. If I can't afford it, then I will not buy it. And that comes especially with stuff like that. I kind of also look at it this way as well, where it's like, if you looked at my lifetime money, like an entire line of how much money I'm going to make, every single time I make a purchase, it's going to take a little bit away from that. Like, let's say I make altogether in my life like $1 million, let's just say. But like, every single time I spend money throughout my life, it takes away a little bit of that. So like, say I spend like $2,000 on some new bag or whatever. Like, I don't know how much bags cost because I don't buy like bags or whatever. But like, some high designer bag, I spent $2,000 on it. Like, in the future, like, how I would look at it is that by the end of my lifetime, I'm gonna be spending, or I'm gonna have $998,000, right? But there's gonna be $2,000 diminished away from that. So the way that I look at it is long term when I spend my money. It's like, in the end, I could be using this money for something else. Basically, I just look at, whenever I spend money now, it's detracting from my overall total that I could be making at the end of my lifetime. That's pretty much how I look at it. So, and I think that's kind of useful if other people want to try that. That's kind of what I make in this video, just to help other people out with how they spend their money. Like I said, I'm no financial expert, but just, I find that a lot of people have a lot of issues with money, like making money. Like, my one friend, he's told me that he made like $20,000 altogether, but he has nothing to show for it because he spent it all, and that's just crazy to me. Like, I've barely spent what I've made. Like, I've made dumb purchases too, don't get me wrong. Like, I spent $100 on Vanguard. Not happy about that. But just, like, we all should take some stuff away from this. Just that, money's important, and that we shouldn't waste it while we're young. We should, save it up, invest it, do whatever you need to do. But just don't blow your money on stupid purchases. Know how to manage your money. Like I said, I use the 10% rule. If I can't afford it 10 times, then can't afford it. And also I look at like how it's going to detract from my overall total. Like, is this pack of gum worth it? This $2 pack of gum I'm going to buy right now, is it worth the $2? Am I going to be satisfied? And if I'm not, then I don't buy it. It's kind of like how I am with clothes. Like, I know I'm going to outgrow it in like a year or whatever, or I'm just not going to like it anymore. Because we as humans, we always look to the next thing. So, I look at a pack of clothes, I'm like, am I really going to wear this? Like, no. Like, I don't really care. So I just don't buy it. That's why I don't buy clothes or designer stuff like that. I barely spend my money, mainly on video games. But that's just because they help me make experiences with friends. And there's nothing wrong if you do buy clothes. I have no problem with that. Just that's how I look at it. That's where I like to spend my money. But I think it's important that we have this conversation about like saving money and not spending it on useless stuff that's just going to take away from your overall total goal in the end. And that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.